Okay. This one's going to be colourful. Hopefully it'll come up a treat. So let's just get this silly piece of Konica Minolta shit set up to do the job. So how big are we going to make this? So it's going to be 200%. Don't know if it's going to fit on 200%. We'll soon find out. So I'm wondering if we're going to... Actually, we're going to give it less background this time. Darken the text. I'm going negative positive for a change. Okay, a little bit of red. Wonder what hue we're going to give it. We're going to leave the hue out of it. It's got bright colours. The colours, yeah, it's probably best without the hue. Okay. Going to keep the black at 0 once again. So let's see what we got and what we can make of it. Let's see what it is. It is a bill fragment. We did one of these earlier, but we fucked up the fuser. The fusing of the image was really bad. It had a problem with the fixing. It's called fixing. When the image gets baked onto the paper, which is made out of, the toner is made out of plastic, and it, yeah. So basically now we're just going to try and put most of this into the A6 area, make it look really nice. So I think that should be pretty much it, and it's going to be enlarged to that. So let's see how we go with this one. But the first one I did when we had fixing problems wasn't as good as this. There weren't as many colours, so I'm glad we just cut the demo short and decided to wait. Then I just found a streetlight pole that had one of these advertising bills on it, and I just tore off a really nice little section, which I did just there. So I'm wondering if we're not getting all of it in as much as we'd like. We still got to work on it, so I'm just going to put it away, and maybe we're just going to use a different area. We might make it, how big are we going to make this silly thing? So we're going to go with, I think, A5, the A5 area vertically. We're going vertically with the A5 area. We're just going to slide it across just a little, or maybe a bit bigger than an A5. We're going to have to do a custom type enlargement. So I think B6. Come to think of it, B6 to A4, I think is 170% from my memory. So I'm just trying to see. I've just got to overlap that. We want to make a really nice mirror image. So I'm just got to quickly. We just lost our settings again. So this is going to be another demo where I've fucked up. I've really fucked up a lot today. I'm just going to move this one in. And, shit, what are we going to do? B6, we're going to make it a bit big. I don't know what to do, so I'm just going to move it out. We're just going to move it out to the B6 area, and we're just going to get into it. We're just going to get stuck in, and, oh, for fuck's sake, get lost. Fuck's sake. That's just copiers for you, mate. It's not good to use this kind of language in an office if you find yourself having problems with your machine using it, and you get really pissed off. And certainly it's even worse when you physically abuse a machine in an office. That can be really, really bad, because, you know, if you do that, you can get the sack, and you'd have to pay for the service call, because the service agreement won't cover the damage that was done by someone doing a classical thing with a photocopier and kicking the shit out of it, or maybe pounding the control panel with the fist. And basically that's something I don't do, even though I'm angry. I'll swear. But this is a house. I'm at home. This is my home where I live. I don't have to worry about people scrutinising me, except when they see me on YouTube or whatever. But this is not, I'm not worried about losing a job or anything like that. So I don't have to worry about that. But I can understand, but I really get that photocopiers are really difficult things to use, and they can really, really, really piss people off. I know there's a lot of YouTube videos about people destroying photocopiers, or at least showing anger at them, physical anger. I know they're not well designed. How do I know? I've been using them for so long, and they're just such a pain in the ass the way they've been made. They're just shit. They're boxes of shit. Even though they're still amazing in how this shit hangs together and doesn't break down more often than it should. But believe you me, I do get angry, and you hear them on my videos, and I can't hit the photocopier or kick it because, again, I'll have to pay for a full service call because this one's on a service agreement. Any kind of abuse or accidental damage done because you've done the wrong thing, or you've gotten angry in the case of physically abusing a photocopier, you have to pay for it. You have to pay for the fucking service call because the service agreement does not cover such damage. So you've got to be careful. You've got to think before you do when it comes to these equipments. So I'm wondering if we're going to maybe move it across a bit, but basically, yeah, it's hard. I know it's hard for a lot of people to pull their head in when it comes to dealing with photocopier rage. But believe you me, you've got to try and control yourselves, especially at work. At work especially, because if you could lose your job, and mark my words, there are not many jobs in Australia. So if you live in Australia and you're thinking about abusing the photocopier or swearing at it loudly in the workplace, don't do it, because there's hardly any work available, and you'll end up with a resume so bad that no one will want to employ you. Even if there are jobs, if there are more jobs out there somewhere down the track, you don't want to have a black mark on your fucking resume. You want to have good record. You want to have a good reputation. You don't want any black marks. It's so easy to get black marks for all sorts of things. If you've had credit card debt, you may not be allowed to get a mortgage. If you have damaged something accidentally, maybe in a unit, you may not be able to rent anymore because they put a black mark against your name. There's all sorts of ways that you can get a black mark. There's so many greedy, horrible people. Rich people can control our lives. They give us black marks. They don't let us. Everyone makes mistakes, and I'm sure a lot of people who experience credit card debt don't intend to do it most of the time, but they make a mistake, they make an error, something unforeseeable happens, they lose their job or whatever happens. That's a common way people can't keep up with credit card payments or mortgages, is because they've lost their job. Because, hey, as I said, there's not many jobs at the moment, so you got to make the most, and you got to keep your job and just look after it like your life depends on it. So you don't want to lose your job, believe you me. Fuck. So don't abuse the photocopier. Don't even yell at the photocopier. As I said, I can do it here because I'm in the comfort of my own home, and hopefully none of my neighbours can hear me. But basically, I don't do this sort of thing at night anyway. I normally do it during the day. But basically, you just got to watch out when you're getting angry at something like a photocopier. It's an expensive device. It costs a lot to call out a technician without the service agreement. So you don't want to have that on your head and then lose your job and have a nasty black mark on your resume. You got to survive these days. It's dog eat dog out there, and you got to basically look after yourself and look after your job. So basically, yeah. But that's basically it. Now this is not the greatest looking image, but it looks quite nice. But yeah, just take heed of what I said, because your life could depend on it, or your livelihood could depend on it. It's a tough world out there.